As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind...
Oh, hello, thank you very much for joining me today. This is video 15, Trustees Tricks. On the first page you can see here, this is a letter going to my grandmother in the 14th of December 1988. It's just explaining that the trust will share the money 3 equal ways, and that's basically on that page. Over on the next page you can see here that the individuals are writing still to my grandmother, explaining that my grandfather's assets are a jigsaw of family assets. Again, they're just explaining what sort of action they're going to do to trace all the missing assets as such. On the third page you can see here the amount of money that they were quoting to charge my grandmother for fee work for administration of the property companies. That's useful for me in the future. We can work out how many companies were under their control. Over to the next page here. This is actually an attachment from the trust service provider in the other offshore island that represents or holds my grandfather's estate. You can see here that they've written to my grandfather stating, sorry, they've written to the Royal Trust Bank. This is what it's attached to. So the trust service provider in that island is trying to obtain a bank account that's been frozen. So they've obviously sent the original trust deed over to the Royal Trust Bank. You can see here that my grandfather was the original settler of the Emerald Trust. You can also see here that no beneficiaries have been added at this stage. Well, in the trust deed that we've been given, the Masonic charities have been added. So why are they not mentioning this to the bank? You can also see here that the Mr. Durante recorded his wishes, and it was for his 3 children to have his monies. So over on the next page here you can see one of the companies that are held in the other offshore island. You can see an individual here, Mr. J.R. Wadman. Again, he's mentioned in the book The Mafia, the CIA and George Bush. He also takes control of property companies after my grandfather's murder. Going over on the next page here, it will be the actual letter that the trust service provider in that island wrote to the Royal Trust Bank on the 4th of January 1989. So they were basically trying to get hold of my grandfather's assets that had been frozen in one of the offshore islands. So you can see also on the letter that it was previously operated solely by the late Mr. Durant. So the only person that could access those accounts was him. Over onto the next page here, you can see the value and the amounts of money that were going through. Was 2,291,000, and that's to do with the Royal Trust Bank. Over on the next page here, you will see a list of assets that are included, which is separate to the bank account. So these are property units held on trust in that Pacific offshore island. Over on the next page now, you will see a letter from the original UK lawyer that was representing my grandmother. She becomes very embroiled and intertwined with the family in the different property companies that are owned. You can see her writing here discussing she will, seems to me that the policy of open government should be followed in the interest of all parties. Well, I can assure you this individual is certainly not working in an open government policy. She actually works in cahoots with the crooked trustee and other individuals. You can also see in paragraph D, they mention there's going to be a reorganisation of companies. That's to do with Company A and Company B. So they're planning to steal my family's side of the money. Over on the next page here, you can see that all assets have to be approved of by the board before disposing of those assets. Obviously, we've been squeezed out of our own property company in the UK. My father is still a director till the current date. Over on the next page, you can just see a more list of assets and money that was owed, or not owed, was our money in that specific company. Over on the next page now, you will see a letter going to one of my uncles. Basically, this lady that I was talking about has gone and shared letters with the other side that my father had sent her, and really basically she's just causing trouble and trying to meddle with the family. Over here, she's now a member of one of the companies, or a director or secretary, and she says there's no conflict of interest between my appointment as a solicitor and my appointment as an attorney to your mother in England. No action will be taken by me except in conjunction with who are your mother's lawyers, except in very exceptional circumstances which are unlikely to arise. Well, we never got any money apart from that 200 grand over 30 years, so you know, you're crooked in my view. Over on the last page, you can just see here it's an attendance note referring to two of my uncles, and Peter and Michael, who are unfortunately deceased now. They wish to bring my father with them on an 80-20% split to do with the company B and the UK property company. That never takes place. They just form that company B and then siphon all the money off. So what the trustee has really done here, one of his tricks is, he's replaced my side of the family with himself, and has been profiting for many decades. That's about it for today. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye bye.